For this Madden Guides video breakdown, I want to take a look at a 46 bear defense that brings some A-gap pressure when your opponent lines up under center, even if the running back stays in the pass block. The defense that we use for this video breakdown is called 46 Bear Safety Fire, and this is a defense that's been in the game for a long time, and you can only find it out of just one playbook, and you'll find it out of the 46 playbook. As far as the coaching adjustments are concerned with this blitz setup I'm about to show, I'm going to set the auto flip defensive play call to off. Next, I'm going to go to auto alignment. I'm going to set that one to base. And finally, the third option that I'm going to do here from the defensive coach adjustments is to go down to curl flats. Now, I realize that I know what you guys are thinking, Cobra, why are you showing this as far as with this particular defense since it's a man defense? Well, later in the video breakdown, when I show an advanced setup, then I'm going to use the curl flats as something I can use as far as hot routes that's still going to allow me to get the pressure on the quarterback, and we'll show that later in the video breakdown. But for now, I'm going to set this for 25, but you guys can set it for 20, 30, whatever you feel like doing based on what your opponent does on the offensive side of things. The only defensive substitution that we need to make is to make sure we have a fast safety lined up at the free safety position. Now with the Cowboys, hooker is probably the fastest in 89 speed. If you have somebody with a 90, 91, or 92 speed, then you want to put them there at the free safety spot. So just keep that in mind. Obviously, the faster the safety is, the more chance or better chance you have as far as getting pressure on the quarterback. For this blitz setup out of 46 Bear Safety Fire, I want to show you two different setups that you can use to bring pressure on the quarterback, even if the running back is staying in the pass block, when your opponent comes out in under center formation. So what I want to do here is I'm going to show you guys the first setup, which is going to be a 6-man pass rush, and then you're going to have 5 defenders in man coverage. So let's go ahead and take a look at the setup. First thing, go ahead and call press man coverage as you so choose. As far as the shading and all that type of stuff, that's up to you. The next thing you want to do is you want to call QB contain, and then you're going to take control of the free safety, and you're simply just going to bring him down into the A gap at this point. Now, what he will do here is, as you look at your screen here, is he's actually going to shoot right through this A gap and apply this pressure on his quarterback. Now, keep in mind, this running back is staying in the pass block. And even with that, he won't be able to block anybody, and we're going to get the pressure on the quarterback pretty quick. And the reason that we do that QB contain is that we don't want the quarterback to try and roll out of here. So we just don't want him to try to go in one of these directions. And by doing what I'm doing here, as far as that QB contain, it's going to put these two, as you look at it on the outside, it's going to put these two defenders in QB contain and prevent that from happening. So I'm going to go ahead and run the blitz here, and then I'll just take a look at it in an instant replay. We'll go into X and O's. We'll take a look at it a little bit more. And right there, you can see that we get that pressure pretty quick on the quarterback. So let's go into instant replay and take a look at that in the X and O's of the play, and we'll get a little bit better idea how this one works. All right, from a top-down view, we get a better idea of how this play works as far as bringing that pressure on the quarterback. And as you look at this one, first off, I want you guys to remember that the running back is staying in the pass block. And I want to show this is a 6-man pass protection scheme, basically against a 6-man blitz. So you'll have these 6 offensive linemen, including the running back as well. So we'll have those 5 offensive linemen plus the running back blocking. And then as you look at your screen, you have these 6 coming after the quarterback. Now, one would think with a 6-man pass protection, you should be able to block 6 guys. Well, in this case, the way this game is set up this year, if you're under center, it just doesn't work that way. And as you look at it, as I go through here, I'm just going to go through it real quick right there. You can see as you look at it, the running back is going towards the right as if he wants to block this guy on the outside who's rushing. Unfortunately, he doesn't step up and try to block for the quarterback in the pocket or anything like that. And right there, you can see right there, there's the pressure. And the other thing, you would think that maybe this guy right here, this right guard, would slide in and look to block. But for some reason, again, he's kind of confused. He's either looking in 2 different directions, it looks like to me, to who he wants to block. He either wants to block this guy or this guy. He gets a little bit confused. And as you can see it, there's the pressure right there as far as getting to the quarterback. So it's pretty nice. Even the inside, I believe that's going to be the end right there. The right end actually gets the pressure as well as you look at your screen right there. So, or actually the left end, I'm sorry about that. Left end actually gets the pressure as well. But at any rate, you can see right there, you get the pressure on the quarterback pretty quick. Now, as you look at it, as far as the coverages are concerned, now remember, I didn't make any kind of defensive adjustments, but you do get in pretty quick on that. As far as with the ticker, let's do the ticker just real quick and see how fast we actually got in on this and take a look at that and see what happens with it. So let me go ahead and show that to you guys. And let's go ahead and zoom back in and take a look at this and see how fast we actually got to the quarterback. So I'm going to go ahead and run this right now and we'll see what happens here with this blitz. So right there, just under about 1.4 seconds as far as bringing pressure on the quarterback. So as you can see, under center, it does a pretty nice job as far as bringing pressure on the quarterback. Now what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and show you the advanced setup where I actually have two other defenders dropping back into the curl flats. All right, now that I showed you guys the blitz as far as bringing a six-man pass rush from the 46 Bears safety fire when your opponent comes under center and the running back is staying in the pass block. Now I want to show you how to get a four-man pass rush with basically the same setup with just two more adjustments. So let's go ahead and take a look at this one. First thing you want to do is call press man coverage. You also want to go QB contain here as you look at it. Take the safety, you can bring him down the box, don't need to bring him all the way down just yet. Switch over to this guy right here, which is going to be the right end. Put him in a curl flat, you'll notice he's out towards the left there. Then switch over to this guy right here. Now this is kind of a key to this, in my opinion, to make this one work. This is going to be the left end. And what you're going to do here with him is you want to slide him over one notch to the right. Now, sometimes he's going to reset. So if he resets, then the blitz isn't going to work as well. So keep that in mind. It's really this guy right here. If you can get him to stay, you're in good shape. If not, then it might not work as well. And then the next thing is you want to go ahead and put this guy into a curl flat as you look at it. I'm going to go ahead and run it as is, even though that defensive end didn't stay. For some reason in this game, sometimes they'll stay and sometimes they don't. But at any rate, you can have it like this as you look at it. And at this point, we've got a four-man pass rush. And we've got, 5 defenders in man coverage and 2 defenders playing zone coverage as far as those curl flats. What I want to do is go ahead and run this. And you can see right there, I still get the pressure on the quarterback. But I will tell you this, it's not as consistent if that defensive end doesn't move her like I was talking about earlier. Let's run this again. So again, go ahead and call press man coverage. Call QB contain. You need to bring this guy down a little bit there. Switch over to this guy here. Put him in a curl flat. If you can, slide this guy over one notch to the right. And sometimes, like I said, he doesn't always do that. That's the only bad thing about this setup that I'm showing, because it doesn't always work. But again, you can still get the pressure most of the time, but not always. Sometimes you'll get blocked. Let's see if we get blocked this time. Again, we still get that inside pressure. You notice that time the quarterback was able to shed off the pass rusher, but we ultimately, obviously, we got the pressure. Let's do it one more time here. Same setup one more time here. I'm going to see if I can get this to work where I can get that defensive end to move over a little bit. So again, I'm going to call press man coverage, curl flat as you look at it. Same thing over here, curl flat. I'm going to try to slide that guy over. There he goes. He moved over that time. And then right there, we got the QB contain. There's the setup. That's what you're really ideally looking for with this setup. Now, as you look at it, you can see I got those 2 guys in QB contain. I got those 2 guys in curl flat, and I got those 5 defenders in man coverage. Now I'm going to go ahead and run this one. This time I'll try to take off with the quarterback and try to scramble here. Now, if he sees that A gap coming up, the cool thing is you still got those guys in QB contain, and they'll actually take that away as far as the rollout. The other thing is the defender that was in man coverage on that running back, if that running back stays in the pass block, then he becomes a spy defender. Let's go ahead and do this one more time. Same setup as I've been running here. So again, we'll call the QB contain, press man coverage, switch over to this guy, put them both in curl flats. Try to slide this guy over just one notch. You didn't do it, which is fine. Like I said, the blitz still works. I just prefer to do that. And the only reason I prefer to slide him over just one notch, I just feel like it gives a little bit more of a gap where this guy can shoot through as far as that safety is concerned. Let's see what happens this time with the same setup that I've been showing. That time he actually got blocked. But, again, with that QB contain, if they try to roll out, then there's a good chance that you're going to still get the pressure on the quarterback regardless. So that's really it, guys. I really want to point this out to you. The advanced setup is not quite as reliable as the initial one that I shown, but it's certainly one that you can definitely take a look at and see if you can get the pressure on the quarterback. There we go. I moved him over again. This time he's moved over just a notch, which is nice. That's what I'm looking for. And let's see if we can get that same pressure. This is the final setup I'll do for you guys so you guys can see it. And then that time I get the pressure on the quarterback. So like I said, not quite as consistent as the first one that I shown as far as the regular setup, but the second setup does get the pressure on the quarterback. It's just not as consistent. Again, you are, as I said, you're dropping 5 defenders or 6 defenders, excuse me, actually, what is that, 7 defenders, and you got 4 defenders coming at the quarterback. Let me show you one more thing with this just real quick. You can always do this if you want. This is basically the same setup. You can put this guy, if you want, you can put him in a bluff blitz if you like. Something like, let's put him in a bluff blitz. This is the defensive end right there. And then you can take control of this guy right here. This will still give you another defender, but now you only got one guy dropping back, and he's just dropping back into it like a hook zone. And then you can do that same setup and see if you can get that same pressure on the quarterback right there. That's something else you might consider doing. It may not always be consistent either, but that's another option. I just want to point that out to you. I've even done it this way where I've had this kind of pressure. Let's do it one more time here. You could take this guy and also put him into a bluff blitz, which is the other end. Let's do that right there real quick. Put him into a bluff blitz. Take control of this guy, and then you got something like this. It might work. This is another setup you can try to do right there that might get you some type of inside pressure fairly consistently. He got shut it off, but he did get in there as far as getting the pressure on the quarterback. So there's some different things you can do with this defense from the 46 Bear safety fire. Just remember, the first setup I showed where you get a 6-man pass rush is the one that I would like to run most of the time. But if I want to add an additional 2 defenders dropping back in zone coverage, as I've already pointed out, you can hot route those 2 defenders into the curl flats and then try to slide that defensive end over to get some type of success. But this is something you might want to try out and see if this is a defense that you might consider running when your opponent comes out under center.